The Truro Tide are a brand new team in the Eastern Canadian Basketball League, and Armon Benford is one of the players on the undefeated Tide. Armon, thanks for joining us. You're originally from Chicago, Illinois, so tell me a little bit about your early days playing basketball in Chicago.
Nice to meet you. Back in Chicago, being in Chicago, trying to stay out of trouble. Playing sports was like the best thing to do. Of course, you hear all type of things about Chicago, but Chicago is a beautiful city. Basketball is one of the meccas out in Chicago. And just growing up, everything was competitive. I went to the Simeon Career Academy, which like with Derrick Rose, Jabari Parker went to, all those guys. We got a couple players in the league, and it just builds a competitive spirit just so I can like compete. And it when you want to compete, it make you want to go further and further and further with the game. So with that being said, I just wanted to keep seeing how far basketball can take me, try to see if I can be a professional with it. I ended up going to John A. Logan in Carterville, then I went to a D2, and I'm just trying to keep this thing going for real.
For anyone that hasn't seen you play, how would you describe your style of play, Armon?
An energy guy, for sure. I love to play defense. I was a defense specialist at Simeon. I always played defense like my whole life. I think defense bring everything else together, but I could say I'm an overall player, getting better with shooting beyond the three, getting my mid-range together. I just like to play the game the right way, so I'm all for just playing the right way, trying to win, because that's the biggest thing to do is just win. So I just think I can bring a lot to the table with that.
I know one of the things that you're known for is rebounding, and it takes a certain specific set of skills to be a really good rebounder. From your perspective, Armon, what makes you a good rebounder?
I think just wanting the ball sometimes, wanting to be involved, not just standing around watching everything. Because back in Chicago, the coaches will get on you if you just watching. They real personal with you. So that just led over to professional, just wanting to compete, get after it, get to the ball. Just really, sometimes that's an easier way to score. If I don't get the open shot or anything, like an offensive rebound, quick 2 points, and those things will be better. It's an easier job for me because sometimes being at the guard position, most guards don't rebound, so it's a little bit easier for me.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And if you're playing a game at the end, when you're looking at your stat line, would you rather have more points or more rebounds?
I would want more points for sure, but I try not to get into stats of just, if I can get both of them at the same time, that'd be great. But I surely don't want 15. If it helps to have 15 rebounds and 10 points, that's cool. That's still a double-double, but I just try to balance it out.
That's pretty much a perfect answer. I think any coach would be happy with that answer from their player. I know you played in the TBL, so you've played a couple of games in Canada. You were telling me before we started recording that you played in Sudbury. But really, this is your first real experience coming to Canada and being here for a long, extended period of time. What's it been like living in Truro and kind of getting used to the community?
Just the different environment. Truro, they're really excited. Like, Truro is small, so we walk around places to eat. We walk around to the grocery store. So, like, we getting more noticeable around the league, and everyone is excited about Truro. It says basketball haven't been here in a lot of years, and it's exciting to know where I come from to help people in their community, try to bring their community together, try to just make it a different environment for this community. Is almost awesome. Like,
yeah, I lived in Truro for 17 years, and I know that I've got a lot of friends in Truro, and they're so excited about this team. And the couple of home games that you've had, the crowds have been great. They've been so into it. But for anybody that hasn't seen this undefeated Truro Tide team yet, what do you want them to know about what they're going to see when they come out and watch the Tide play?
11 good guys that can play the game, 11 good guys that share the ball with each other, 11 good guys that care for each other. Like, That I think that's the biggest aspect of winning is just caring for the next person, trying to help the next person. And we got a good our Canadian players. They're like they've been around a long time. We got Watson, T. Scott. So they set the tone for us to just stick with each other, no matter if it's on the court or off the court. It's just us being with each other brings W's, brings a collective spirit. Like all of that plays a part in playing basketball. And anyone should know, like, teamwork make the dream work.
Yeah, you mentioned Tyrone Watson, certainly well known to basketball fans here in this region. Tyler Scott as well, played his university ball at the University of Prince Edward Island. And you mentioned 11 guys coming together, kind of like that family atmosphere. But this team came together relatively quickly, didn't have a whole lot of time to practice together before playing. But what could you maybe point out to as a couple of keys that have really helped this team gel together so quickly and to have that undefeated record so far?
I think Coach Pat, we got to get into Coach Pat was just trusting his players, because he said it to us. He don't know about none of our skill sets. He know a couple people, but he allowed us to just show what we could do in practice, put in plays where he think that'll make work for us, and it's been working so far. So it's just like Pat really. He's a cool coach, so it allows you to make mistakes and still keep going. Even if you make mistakes, he might bring it to you, tell you what you did wrong, this, and that. But for the most part, Pat just trusts us to get the job done. So I guess that make all the other players just play their game and try not to be in their head about certain things.
Yeah, it's certainly been a good start to the season for the Tide. Let's go back to the community of Truro itself now. I know you haven't been there too long, and you said that you're kind of out walking around and exploring the community. What are a couple of things that maybe you really enjoyed so far, whether it's a park area or something to eat? What's kind of stood out to you so far about Truro?
Well, everywhere I go, everybody asks me about donairs. So that's the funny thing, that like everywhere I go, they ask me, have you tried a donair from here? Have you tried a donair from there? I'm like, I tried it from one place. I tried it from another place. And we got a spot across the street from where we're staying at that show us like love. They give us free food sometimes. I think it's called Julius. I know Rudy's. It's a pizza place or something, but Rudy is a good guy. He makes sure we always fed. Even if he closed at 10, he'll let us stay a little bit later because he know we coming from practice. So it's just Truro. Everybody's showing love to us, and we 5-0 right now. But I think it'll be much more love when we start winning some more, getting everybody involved.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, what do you think of the donair?
The donair is like the gyro back at home in Chicago. It tastes just like the gyro to me. They just don't have like the pita. But the only thing I can say is the donair sauce. I don't know if I like sweet stuff on meat. I don't know if I like that.
That's one of the things that people seem to love most about the donair is the sauce. Now, has anybody mentioned to you, or have you had garlic cheese fingers with donair sauce yet? Because that's another super popular thing.
I think so, like the fries with the cheese, with the gravy and stuff like that, right?
Oh, no, that's poutine. That's a whole other thing.
See, I'm lost.
Well, this is great, Armon. I feel like I'm helping get you a little more in tune with the community. But yeah, if you have a chance, because I guess garlic cheese fingers aren't a real big thing outside of this region either. But what a lot of people do, and I know my daughter, for example, loves garlic cheese fingers with the donair sauce on the side to dip them in. So are you willing to give that a try at some point, Armon?
Look, I'm in a new environment, new area. I'm always open to give new tries to anything, to be honest. Coming from Chicago, you got to try new stuff.
All right, the last thing I'll ask you before we wrap up is, we talked about the donair and how it's such a popular food here, and you kind of compared it to something similar back in Chicago. But what would Chicago be known for? Like if I went to Chicago and you said to me, Scott, you got to try this. It's a well-known thing in Chicago. What would it be? Or at least for you?
I would say the pizza. They got different types of pizza, like deep dish pizza, different parlors as well, like so many different restaurants you can try from. So most likely the pizza.
Chicago deep dish. I've definitely heard of that. I've tried it here, but I don't think it's the same as I would get in Chicago. For you, are you a deep dish guy, kind of a regular guy, or a thin crust guy when you're getting pizza?
It depends on what place I'm going to. If I'm at Beggars, I like thick crust. If I'm at Italian Fiesta, I'm at thin crust. If I do go to Giordano's, I might get deep dish. That's the thing with Chicago. It's so many places to choose from that you can have a favorite at any different spot.
Armon Benford, what a great opportunity it was to speak with you. Thank you very much for your time, and look forward to seeing you on the court with your Truro Tide teammates again soon.
I appreciate the time.
In Halifax, I'm Scott Squires for the Atlantic Sports Wire.